Hey everybody, Dr. Mike over at Peak Performance Integrated Medicine and iChiro Clinics. I just wanted to show you a little demonstration, a little build some understanding on how things actually work. So in the body, what controls everything that happens in your body? When you think about it, it's your brain. And how does your brain do that? By sending messages through all of the nerves. And when that works well, how does your body work or function? Well, right? We call it a state of ease, meaning everything's working well. What happens is we do things in life, we slip, we fall, we trip, we get in car accidents, we do things that actually damage muscles and tissues, and when those muscles and tissues get damaged, they actually will then interfere with these nerve messages through the mechanoreceptors that are in all your muscles and tissues, or you can actually have nerve pinching. But when these messages don't get through, what do you think happens to the body's function? It starts to go down into what we call a malfunction, meaning things don't work well, goes into a state of dis-ease, and then once things get bad enough, you actually then start to feel bad, which are called symptoms. Usually you don't get symptoms until things get really bad, meaning below about 40% function, then you start to feel it. So it starts here and then gets worse until it's symptomatic. It's kind of like when you go to the dentist and you have a cavity, but you don't feel it yet. It's just in this malfunction stage. As it goes into disease, it gets worse and worse and worse. All of a sudden now you start hurting it and you have tooth pain. It didn't start as symptoms, it started way up here. Same thing in medicine when they do all these different tests on people. Cholesterol checks, mammogram, breast exam, pap smear, colonoscopy, prostate exams, blood pressure checks. None of that is based on symptoms because we all know things have to get bad before the symptoms show up, right? So what I'm trying to show you that is this, is as things develop, they get really bad, then you start to feel the symptoms. Symptoms are not first. So how do you end up there? Well, typically, if you say start at 100%, and then you start to do things in life. You slip, you fall, you shovel, you sleep wrong, you crash on your bike, you fall down the stairs. You do all these little things through life. A lot of them you don't even really hurt that bad and you feel pretty good. It didn't even bother you. But as these build up, like straw on a camel's back, this builds and builds and builds, and eventually you do the one thing that pushes you below that line. And as soon as you cross that line, now you're feeling the symptoms. Now we can work on that and turn you around, and as soon as you cross the line right there, how do you think you feel? You actually feel great because now you have no symptoms. So here's the confusion for a lot of people, is here you feel great, but you also feel the same here. So here and here feel the same. As you can see, they're not the same spot. So what would happen if we just got here and then stopped? The next little shoe tie, butterfly flying by, pick a dandelion out of the garden, one little thing you do that pushes you down, it pushes you below that line again, and then it gets worse. Now you're all symptomatic again. And you can turn it around and get worked on, and if you do that over and over and over, the problem is things just keep getting worse and worse and worse over time. Now, not the best option, because what's that gonna do? It's gonna have more and more injuries, which impacts your quality of life, more sick days, more problems, more suffering. The other thing it does is it allows for the joint to be degenerated at a faster rate, which is called arthritis. So not the smartest choice. What would be better? What would be better would be to bring this up here as high as you can, and then once you're up here, you're still gonna do stuff. So here it goes. You start doing things. But what if, instead of waiting until it was symptomatic, we pulled stress and tension out of those tissues and just kept things working good up there all the time? Think about it that way. That's called keeping things working well. And everybody wants that because we all want to be active and mobile. But here's the question. What happens when you're here? Like, how are we gonna know if you're here, 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 or here along this route? How are we gonna know where you're at? Because we can't tell how by your feelings. So you won't be able to tell by how you feel because you're out of symptoms already. The answer is the testing. So if you can't do the movement tests, we know you're somewhere down here in the bottom. If you can do them, then we know you're up here. And those tests will tell you how your body's functioning and working, regardless of how you may be feeling in a moment. So this is the big idea to help understand. Problems start small, get worse, and then become symptomatic. The way you end up there is just doing stuff in life. We all do things in life that stack up like straw on the camel's back, drop you below the line, and then the goal is to turn it around. Now, sometimes people say, when I go, how are you gonna feel right there? They'll say, I feel better, but you'll feel better here, you'll feel better here, but you'll feel better there. But as soon as you cross that line, symptom-free, you feel great. Same as here. And that's one of the catches, is because people wanna base it on how they feel, when really you should base it on how you test, because the mobility is really the goal you're going after. Once you get up in here, it becomes easy to maintain and keep things good, and that's where we just keep an eye on people, and you can keep stress and tension minimized out of their body so that they just have that better quality of life. So hopefully that helps to understand a little bit. Dr. Mike, iChiro Clinics and Peak Performance Integrated Medicine. Have a great day.